My name is Laura Craig. They call me LaLa. I live in the booming metropolis of Darling, Mississippi. This place has 150 people. It has a gas pump, kind of a store, a post office. Hey, Tommy. Yeah, we're doing great. We've been very busy, but otherwise good. How about you?
Just fine.
Thanks so much.
Good to see you.
I can get stir crazy, but mostly I'm very happy there. There's no time that I don't recall being immersed in music. My parents were musicians in the 50s. They were a duo that played around together for a long time. When my brother and I came along, my brother picked up guitar. We would play at these clubs, and I mean, I'm talking when I was 7 years old. You know, I was quite young.
Laura would play with us on the stage. You know, we had the Craig family band. She played on the tambourine before she could do anything else with us, you know. She was very, very pretty. And that's not just a mother saying it. Right after Laura had turned 11 years old, we bought a piano for Laura and Buddy.
And they thought maybe I would like it or take to it, and they had no idea how much I would.
That's when Laura found out that that was her instrument. That was it.
The next time I got serious about music was college, and I had an advisor, and the first thing he'd say is he'd sit down. Okay, so have you changed your major yet? Because you are not a musician. And if I hadn't had it in my blood, that would have probably been enough reason to never touch a piano again. And it took a lot of years before I got around to finding out that there was a style of music out there where you could sort of be yourself. It was a process, definitely, because I didn't really commit to blues till about 1994, when I was 33, 34 years old. My first husband was a French horn player and a serious classicist. He did kind of go for jazz in a way. My second one was really more of a businessman. Because I came out of that marriage with that mindset that I was clinging desperately to the idea that nobody was ever going to want me at this ripe old age of 30, and I was washed up. And then the third was a blues bass player. He really didn't want me to play blues, to be honest with you. He was most definitely a stepping stone to awakening the desire to play blues in me again. I knew that something needed to change. Wasn't really sure what. It was so long ago when I still got the blues for you. When I came to the Delta, it was October of 2000. I think I'd been running from a little of, or a lot of, who I was for a long time. Good morning, Cathead. I did completely transform when I came to the Delta. I mean, not just musically, but really in every way. Ground Zero opened a few short months after I moved here. I have felt like it was a home away from home ever since. The first person to take me under his wing was Charlie Moore. And then Super Chicken saw me play at an open mic, and he offered me the opportunity to come play at Ground Zero for his next gig. So I was going out on a limb. It was a little out of the comfort zone.
All I can say tonight is happy birthday to me. Indeed. I get a chance to see 16 one more time.
I've heard women mentors all my life say they really didn't know themselves until their 40s or even their 50s. Well, what I found out I could do really well was entertain. And it came as big a shock to me as it could possibly be to anyone. I was very naturally an introvert. I really still am. That's why the blues worked so well for me. It gave me that style of music where you were allowed to be a little off key, or you were allowed to be a little off rhythm. To have 4 beats in this measure and 5 beats, and there was that freedom. Just the one echo. Where I am now in my life, both musically and with love, is exactly what I have hoped for my entire life, and really did not think that I would ever get. It's time for you to leave. Dino is Dino. That's my baby. Like a vamp. Okay. That I was fortunate enough to meet at the age of 48, 49 years old. Hearing what you're doing with that bass line, can you play it one more time? No. I always said there is one thing I'm not going to say I had, and that's an internet relationship. Hey, traveler. All right. Hey, traveler. Hey, traveler. We met on Facebook. We began a friendship, and he was the funniest person I'd ever met in my life. What brings you to Clarksdale? And he started to say, I really want to come to the Delta and meet you. And
the first time I came to see LaLa, I've never seen my truck go faster in its life. That I was here, I was nervous as a bunny rabbit.
My knees barely would work. My knees were buckling underneath me. I was so, just the apprehension level was just unbelievable.
So she set it up to where I could stay at the Riverside. The only thing that I could think of was to just sit in my room and play my guitar until she got there.
So I go making that walk down that hall, and it's like, oh boy, a few more steps, and there we are. I remember the door was just kind of crooked open. He had his back to me. And I walked in, and the eye contact, and that was it. Just gave each other a big hug and said, let's go get coffee. Now Dino and I are collaborating. We play in a band together, my band, LaLa and Element 88, and we play in a duo together. And we love harmonizing.
On stage with LaLa is a kick in the butt. I love it. She is so animated. I can throw things at her musically that nobody else will get. LaLa's relationship to music is closer than her relationship to me.
Guys, y'all ready for some music? Yeah, we can do better than that. I said, are y'all ready for some music?
She's
Ladies and
in
gentlemen.
her world, getting into that zone, and that's a place that I can't go.
This is LaLa, and we are Element 88.
All I can do is just observe and wear body armor.
Feel
she is all about the music and making the music all about her.
So the fact that I was able at the age of 40-something to find someone with whom I could share all of this that had always been so important to me, the music, it happens. It happens when it's supposed to happen. If I had to do this forever, I could do it. I think what puts you on that path of that is finding that passion. If you follow that, then the best of you is visible to the world. And what better way to be seen by that person than for them to see you at your best? There's a lot of exciting things in the future ahead of us, both musically and planning a wedding. And we're collaborating on trying to pull together my 1895 old house out in Darling and turn it into something that we hope will one day be a kind of a bed and breakfast that we can bring folks to during festivals. Maybe have jams out there. We have a lot of dreams about that sort of thing, but the property and the house will take a lot of renovating before those things can be in place. The other night after Ground Zero, there was a man that left Ground Zero and looked across at me and said, it was strange. He kissed his hand and did this at me and said, "God has been very good to you." And it kind of blew me away. Like, I was sort of taken aback.
Well, she didn't have a beard.
Let's hear you say,
Howdy.
howdy, y'all. Yeah.
Top it off here. Listen, wait.
I think you're so cool I can barely stand you. I don't know how I'm gonna stand on the stage with you with all that cool going for you.
Sold.
For a lot of years while people told me, oh, you know what? You're 40-something now. You've got to settle. So I was like, heck no, I'm not going to settle. I settled my whole life. Why would I do that now? And so it was either all or nothing, and I got it all.
I'm a dead man walking here. That's the least of all my fears. Ooh, underneath the water. It's not Alabama clay. Leads those trembling hands away. Ooh, please forgive me, Father. Never going back to Barton Hollow. Never gonna follow me wherever I go.